Welcome to the Magic City. The magical bridge I was going to park at, after a couple of years of being talked about replacing it, is finally closed to traffic. So we had to park somewhere else. And we're going to go up these stairs here, which used to be a railroad ditch. And I would go to a steam plant. I made into a trail, like inspired after New York's High Line, except in a ditch. And we got this bridge right here, which we're gonna walk across. And this is cool that it's shut down finally. This bridge is over 100 years old. And the old pictures taken from this vantage point on this very bridge 100 years ago. See, it's still got a middle curb. Oh, we're lucky I didn't get a chance to park there. Here comes the train. And you see, they cut out right there for his parking garage, this building. And they have planters, but there's never anything growing since I've been here. I guess I can see straight down. The gap is so wide. And that parking lot down there was actually tracks as well. And the building, now it's a parking lot. This is the South Birmingham. Over there's the North. It's cool, it's right here. Hopefully I find a picture. Well, there are pictures. Maybe I'll just link it. You can see how it would look. Kind of glad it's closed. There's several plans to fix this bridge, and I forget which they're going to change it to. I think they want to put in like trees and a curb and sidewalks and all that, which bike path, which considering they can't take care of planners, sounds like a very expensive bridge and it won't last 100 years. Thank goodness people still show up to this building. That skyscraper right there is actually planned to rejuvenate this section of town in the 70s. You see, there was a guard post over there back in the day. We're kind of straight, something we almost can never do. Oh, since we're here, they call it a Rainbow Viaduct. 1919. So this bridge is 102 years old. Was carrying traffic and had cars parked on it. World War I monument. You got a little honor on that side. And over there was the original L&N station, where that metal tower is next to its platforms. That was the main train station before they built the one that's much talked about in town for Birmingham Grand Central. And keep that in mind because we're going to go a block next to it. And while we're here, let's take a walk around. This guy's just sitting there. Oh, he's on a bike. Roll call. Okay. So on the left is North Birmingham. On the right is South Historic Auto District, where they fix up cars and whatnot. Morris Avenue right there, and then there's the main street. And this is original. So while in other cities you have a canal, a river, here we have a giant railroad viaduct. It's industrial. There's that guard tower I was talking about from the 70s because it was so dangerous. And sometimes if I was here a couple hours later, I'd catch an Amtrak, and that would be on the very left lane. And where there's cars are, you can like stand there and watch, and the wheels are right there. And you wonder how safe those spots are from like rocks and whatnot. So I think right about here, there's a photo from when this bridge was new, staring at some of these buildings. There's one you'll see that's not original, which is obvious. One's on the left of the heaviest corner on earth. Straight ahead was a life insurance building, and it's built like a castle back when architecture had to symbolize things. And it's a fortress. Straight ahead, City Federal. I forget the name, but that's was a bank. Oh, this is a mixed train of scrap metal. Speeding up too. Still see some old advertisements on some of these buildings. I like some of these cars that have like poison gas warnings, and when they're parked, they hiss. Let's see, sodium hydroxide solution. That doesn't seem to have it. It's pretty cool. Let's go see what we came here to see real quick. These trains are long, by the way. That one's coming from the tracks in Atlanta, I believe, or East Alabama, West Georgia. Not sure how far that came. Do this. Now we're just gonna go around the block today. Hopefully I can do this right. It's another bridge that's almost as old, that has a really interesting alleyway design. Just right there. This street scene right here is great. You got the old cobblestone. It's like the original street when the land settlement began over here. There's a steel furnace, trains and old warehouses. Got the other side too, which if I'm lucky we're seeing on the way back.
Yeah, no, that being said,
see, this is great. This is for old Steiner Bank. See, it says 1890, I hope. And this is founded by one of the original Jewish immigrants started a bank. Now it's offices and whatnot. See how big the stone is. So we're gonna have another view of a Steiner Bank because technical difficulties, and I wasn't sure how much I lost in my talking. You can see how big it is. Anyway, they're famous because it's back when, I guess before 1800s, 1890, before there were heavy tax burns and people amassed a lot of wealth and would actually buy out the city when the cityscope broke, and which I guess some cities could use again today if they could. I know Citibank in New York actually has stories about that from over 100 years ago. And this building's interesting because they actually these 1890s buildings are actually seen as like old and outdated by the 1920s, at least anyway. And sometimes they tear them down for Art Deco. Okay. Quite funny, I have to have a cop standing right against construction projects now. Look at the size of that hole. Oh, see, this is cool. These buildings are just as old, too. 19th century buildings over there. Now, it's a shame this construction because we see that one building, it's 4 stories, and next to that is that behemoth. It's fascinating. Oh, this is cool. It's like Art Deco, not Art Deco, 1950s exit. Now what's cool about all this, it's back before zoning, you know, you see how it doesn't fit with the land use and the buildings next to it? So you just buy plots, and all of a sudden you had blocks of these 4-story, really nice buildings. And you build something like that right up against it on the property line. And you know, there was no, as far as I understand, there was no hearing saying it's too big, you know, this and that. I wonder if they had concerns back when this thing started going up with the steel, with original skyscrapers, or if it was even annoying back then, eh? Because look at this, just to do one plumbing project. I wonder what the noise was to build that right next to your 4-story building. And what they offered, like, what was the offer for buildings next to it when they bought them? Eh? Did this guy get left out, or did he just not sell? And that would have been bigger. Okay, here's one of the original banks over here. Now John Hand Building. Over there is an Elton. See, this is brown marks. They keep putting up fences like they're going to do something with it, and it stops. But this is so cool. I wish they still had banks like this. See, banks are more than just, over there is the South Trust, and that's one of the original banks. Probably can't see anything anyway. But if architecture is very representative. John Hand Building, 1912. Woodward Building, 1904. 1909 at Elton. And I can't see brown marks. The only one that's not refurbished, and it's sad. And it's interesting, and this is the heaviest corner on Earth. And the reason for that is these 4 skyscrapers were on one corner, and it's the first time anywhere in the world that you have 4 buildings. First time anywhere in the world you have 4 buildings that were like this size. Everything was always 4 stories, 2 stories, 3 stories. You can see next to the Empire Building right there. That's what that one was. It's Italian terracotta. If you can see it, it's got these Greek pillars. Original South Trust Bank. I can't remember if that was the original name or if it was Southern something. That's supposed to have like a dome and lots of tellers, and it's supposed to be an amazing building inside. And it's all to represent, you know, financial security. There's no FDIC and whatnot. So you didn't want to run. Sometimes you get to see original safe deposit boxes. And one tip, it's not safety, it's actually safe deposit boxes. People always say that. Now here's another view of what used to be the L&N station. And that viaduct, Art Deco 1931, came later. And those things are beautiful. Very sturdy too, but I have to warn you, it really smells when you go under there. And so, I don't know if anybody ever asked this, but why right there, the heaviest corner on Earth? Why not somewhere else? What's that near, you know, like, just a random intersection. Oh, okay, that sounds great. But, you know, there's always a story behind everything. And think about this, if this was the main train station, and these tracks are the main river, this is a theory I have. I never hear anybody mention this. These tracks are the main river and means in and out of the city, and all those platforms right there. And right there was the all original Victorian architecture L&N building. And this viaduct didn't exist yet, so you didn't just walk under. Yeah, across lots of tracks, and there's even more tracks on the other side for warehouses and a power station. And one block right here. So basically right next to the main entry point in town was the center. And here's the original. There's a landmark over there. So cobblestone is it's not nice like driving on brick. So here we're back in the 19th century. Ah, must have never trained. I think it's CSX, but I can't see it. RFID store. Peanut factory. Made right inside. Really nice shop. They keep fixing up. You can see all the original boiling machines. Last time I was in there, they had souvenirs too. Here you got like a really cool original alley. I like this stuff. This building doesn't seem to have a cornerstone. I don't know how old it is. Got windows open. You can tell if you've been to overseas, like, you know, Savannah or whatnot, you can tell that's pure 1800s from the brickwork. I have no clue what was here. Is that a cop? Instead of sitting in a car, you're just gonna stand there. It's a caboose. Whenever they put that there, I imagine it wasn't too difficult. It's just no, before I die. People put, what is that, chalk? I mean, it's kind of, must have been a school trip or something to be that coordinated. See, so there's Morris Avenue in 19th century. There's the skyscrapers 20th century. And what I like about, I mean, I guess it's good and bad, but what I like about Birmingham specifically is you get these views and nothing's changed in 100 years. I can go back 100 years ago, and this is mainly like almost what it looks like with one or two exceptions. Like that building's gone right in between that Founder Station. But we'll have a bridge right here. I will have that alleyway with stairs. I will have a skyscrapers. There's the trains. It's fascinating. I was hoping when they built a hotel that they were going to clean this alley up and the pigeons and all that, but I guess business people nowadays, unlike the 18th and 19th centuries, in the early 20th don't want to I hear an engine. There's Loyalty Firemen. On this side along Morris Avenue, 2 firefighters are trapped. Falling walls, 1905. First Birmingham firefighters killed in service to the city. Okay, so not from the nation to the city. Yeah, so that doesn't sound right. This alley is mysteriously cleaner. But you can see, look, windows. This is built before this bridge was here. This is built before the bridge was here. Because you remember, you pop out right here, see window? 1890 Steiner Bank. So Steiner Bank, this is built in 1890. This is built in 1907? I forget. Maybe they had a cornerstone, I don't remember. I don't understand these hotels nowadays where they have like the front desk clerks. They just stand all day and hunch over a computer. And they don't even have a long counter anymore. They have like a desk that's like out and open. So at least used to, you could like lean, you know? We had like a private desk. I mean, why do they have to be out and open for? Now they got like the digital check-in too, so I don't know why you deal with that nonsense. And what's next? The Walmart without a conveyor belt? They're just in the open? It's silly to me. But anyway. So tour, it's experimental. Only had 2 or 3 people looking at me. I'm hoping this thing picks up the sound. I'm not doing the traditional little camera with a gimbal for even more. Whatever. I could have done it as a silent maybe. I don't know. See all the lights down there. You know what interesting though thing to see while we're looking is that if you look at like the design of these bridges over there, see the way on parts of it it's like sturdier than ever for what do you call it? Where the bridge itself, you can see how it's thicker for base, but not for piers. Bridge itself, so on the left it's thick. Where the buildings started. See, and there it gets a little bit thick again. And over there it gets thick. And you wonder what was there. And there was something else under there that looked interesting. You can see it refurbishing. It's like, I think there's, if you go over there, there's like these metal guides where you would have a catenary wire or it's a scoop for steam engine vent. I can't remember. I haven't seen it in a while. I can